Howdy. So this is just a 30-minute section, so we're gonna get right after it. So, I mean, the reveal's already there a little bit. The special announcement is that next year, and you should think of this sort of like a tech announcement. So like what we're telling you is that in 6 months, there's gonna be this great product for y'all to interact with, and we need people to get engaged and buy in and get excited between now and then, because we need to build a bunch of resources, people, interest, engagement between now and then. So the project is 50-50 Science Across America, and it's going to be a really special way to celebrate science in America with YouTubers by taking 50 creators, 50 scientists from each of the 50 states to make 50 videos over 50 days. And the idea is that each of the videos will be a natural pairing between a creator who has some natural, meaningful connection to a state, some love, they grew up there, they went to college there, they live there now, and for them to take things in their lives, you know, maybe they're a science creator, maybe they're a car creator, a food creator, and ask themselves, like, who are the scientists and researchers and engineers in their state that they want to get to know better, they want to celebrate, and they want to show to the world. And the vision is that by doing this all together over the course of 50 days, this magical thing that I think is special to the United States, where everyone has intense state pride, and you can engage intensely with your state, but at the same time, a neighbor state or a state across the country, someone doing the same thing, builds love and unites us in this like very special American way. So I should say that it's in development. So this is really just to get you guys all excited. We have a major partner, Tangle Bank Studios, that has come on early. So shout out to Chad and Alex. And, you know, credit to them as being partners. When I was talking to Chad about this early on, I didn't know that next year was like the 250th year of America. But I did like the quick math, and I was just like, oh, if you work it out right, like 50 creators, 50 scientists, 50 states, 50 videos, 50 days, that adds up to 250, and so we have to do it. And Chad agreed, and so and so we got the ball growing, and with that, we've been able to hire showrunner Chris. And introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Chris. As you mentioned, I met some of you. As you mentioned, it's obviously going to be a lot of pieces. It's a big, ambitious, big swing. It's what we're most excited about. The idea of really doing it here at the soft announcement with this endemic community. I'm here to engage you guys. Don't let me leave without your names and your contacts and the state you live in and what your ideas might be. I think this is going to be a necessary endeavor. I think it's an important time in the country that the communicators of science education come together and tell a bigger story, state by state, in leading up into the big country. But with these partners, already the ball is rolling. So we have some ideas. We're going to work with you on what those might be and how they might change over time. But with Destin, maybe we'll start with you. Just like the science of each state is vital to this. And so obviously Alabama, you've been covering it for a very long time. What are you excited by coming out of Alabama today?
I am excited about Joe Hanson talking about his love for Alabama football on the public stage once and for all, right, Joe?
Deep fake, that's gotta be a deep fake. Never gonna happen.
No, there's a whole lot going on in Alabama that I'm very proud of and excited of. I mean, the first thing you think of is rockets. There's a lot of rocket research in Alabama. I mean, we're in Huntsville at lunch, and you'll hear rocket engines going off on the test stand all day long. You know, you're at soccer, and you hear it, and you're like, okay, that was how long? Okay, that was a BE-4. You know, we do that. Yeah, we do that in Huntsville. So there's a lot of rocket stuff going on. There's Hudson Alpha. They do a lot of genomic research. But I'm really excited about the stories that you don't hear. Like, there's paper mills down in South Alabama. My sister used to work at one, and I used to make fun of her for making toilet paper. And then I went to the toilet paper factory and apologized to her because it was more complicated than testing missiles. I was like, this is amazing. I didn't know you have trees coming in one side and toilet paper got the other, and there's research going on in the middle.
Wow.
It's fascinating. By the way, fun fact, hardwoods make the softest toilet paper. That's how I learned, yeah.
I think that's a great point. Like we got 50 bites at this apple, right? Creators with scientists. So there's going to be some of these bigger, larger, the rocket stories, and there's an opportunity for the smaller toilet paper-y stories. I think like that's going to be the fun, the texture of this. Like what is the big and what is the small, and what's important to that state. I mean, Texas is global science, 100% in a lot of cases. So like, what are you excited about in addition to football?
Well, for those of you who don't know, I live here in Austin. I grew up in Houston. It's a bit of an unfair advantage, I have to be honest, when it comes to the state of Texas. You know, we're just all so happy you're here. But, you know, in 7th grade in the state of Texas, you're legislatively mandated to take Texas history, and you learn about the heroes at the Alamo, and Davy Crockett, and Sam Houston, and the great underdog story. And then when you're in like 27th grade, you find out that that was all a lie. And none of those dudes were anywhere near what they taught you they were. But instead, I wish they would have taught us about some of these other heroes we have in Texas. I mean, it's great that you got those rockets and you can point them up, but you know, you can't do anything with them without mission control in Houston, Texas. They've got a great vault there full of every cool thing they've ever brought back from space. The first microprocessor was invented in the state of Texas by Texas Instruments. The first heart transplants took place in the Texas Medical Center. The very fact that we had a COVID vaccine is due to a guy at the University of Texas who solved the structure of that spike protein, and 2 weeks after they found it in China, and they already knew how to code it into mRNA. Like, that happens here. Now, I'm not too much of a, but I'm a stan for the University of Texas. I can't help it, okay? So we're just born that way. But it's incredible. I think these are, you know, our founding fathers of this country. We're enlightened men, unfortunately only men, that were inventors and thinkers themselves. And it's weird to look at the country today and kind of think about that origin and how it could remotely be true, but it was true. And I think this is a chance to celebrate that, and Texas is happy to lead the charge.
That was amazing.
I don't know what to say about that.
Well,
So-
you get to pick your state, right, Emily?
Yeah.
So Emily, which one are you gonna do?
Well, so I currently live in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. Good. I was gonna say a sport thing, but we are on the same page right now. I'm gonna stop myself. Obviously, we have like some fantastic universities. University of Chicago, or what am I even saying? Yeah, Northwestern. There's a lot of yeah, University of Chicago. Yeah. There's some good ones out there, but I'm from South Dakota, a state people don't think about unless they're
awesome.
flying over it. South Dakota, I have so much South Dakota pride. There are fewer than 1 million people who live in the entire state of South Dakota. And so we don't get out very much. And and what I think is cool is you have like tech engineering, you have like South Dakota School of Mines, and they do a lot of the similar sort of like research. But I like places, and this is in Wyoming, like the Casper Community College in Casper, Wyoming. They have a phenomenal paleontology program by virtue of the fact they have access to the same fossil quarries that Cope and Marsh were excavating in the late 1800s. So that's a continuation of research that happens there and nowhere else because it's too expensive to ship fossils. And it's just easier to leave them where they are. And have researchers all over the world coming to places like South Dakota, the Badlands. I'm biased because I had a 3-hour PBS special called Prehistoric Road Trip.
That's excellent.
Thanks, guys. Which is a 3-hour journey through 2.5 billion years of Earth's history across 5 states. So we started in the Black Hills of South Dakota talking about like the density, the geologic formation, how that has given rise to such diversity of a geologic record and really invites people like from China, from New York, from the big places, from the Field Museum, from the American Museum, and they're going to places working with people like JP at the Casper Community College. So those are the stories that I'm really passionate about. Anybody, I mean, University of Chicago doesn't need my help.
One thing I'm really excited about is, I don't know what this is going to look like yet, but I'm excited about people getting on the roller coaster, learning about triceratopses in South Dakota or whatever we're going to learn about, and then we get on that roller coaster, and then we just start going, and we go through Texas, learn about whatever they do, and then we go to really cool states like Alabama. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so we're putting a lot of thought and care, because that's precisely the hope. And I think that exactly how we execute it, we're figuring out, but there's such a clear undercurrent of this like excitement and love, where all these on-ramps are there because of people's connections to their states. And then what we want to do is offer a large area for people to interact with after that, so that they explore their regions, they explore the topics, they explore the scientific connections, the cultural connections, as we explore the whole country. And I think Americans in general it's a very special place for how strong state identities are, but at the same time, how strong like national identity and American pride can be. And if we do it right, there's just a huge potential of like energy engagement to unlock, and an opportunity for us to, in the 250th year of America, like really celebrate what everyone's been doing. Not to mention it shouldn't be so hard. Like, America's been quite good at science historically and to this day, so there's gonna be lots to talk about. But I'm super, super excited, not just about waving the big American science flag, which is easy because we're good, but how people interact with it, like how people's sisters work at the paper factory, and how your neighbor works at the excavation site, or your uncle is a doctor at the medical center. And like, what we really, really want to build in is, and think that will be key in unlocking these bigger connections in this roller coaster, is not just focusing on the science, but focusing on the people that are doing the science, and then how those people are connected to their state and to the country. So one thing that we are imagining doing, if we go to further into the slides, is tech tools. So this is just like a little demo. Remember, think of it like a tech demo, where we're just kind of painting a picture of what you might see in 6 months. It probably won't look like this, but this is just to give you an idea of like how you might explore the country. So you can explore them state by state, you can explore them by regions, you can explore them by topics, and you can have overlapping versions where, well, I want to explore a particular region, but I want to see like what topics come up in that region, and then see the videos right next to it and information about the things that are covered in the videos. And these are the people up on the stage right now, and so you can just start to imagine how you might come to this map and come to this platform through one of their videos, but then have the opportunity to explore the country. And as Destin and everyone's excited about, stumble into all sorts of things that you maybe didn't know about. Science for one, but these cultural connections, these like deeper American ties that I think will just naturally emerge.
One thing I'm so excited about, I've talked a lot about representation on YouTube, diverse representation in science in general, and I think what an amazing opportunity to engage some of the best and brightest new up-and-coming like people. Joe, we've all talked, we're all YouTube grandpas, and we're tired of hearing ourselves talk, I think. We would like to, help other people, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, pave the way a little smoother, and this is a great way for us to, I think, give back to that community too, and just get to know other cool creators. Like, we're good, but you guys are better, in so many different things. So that Skillshare, I think, is exciting.
I too believe the children are our future. Yeah, that's right.
I guess.
There is such a great opportunity, and I think as this map begins to fill itself out and people in this room and beyond hopefully become a part of this project, you're going to see far beyond the usual suspects and surprising places and people. There's an element of discovery that's really possible here for people not to just find, okay, everybody knows that NASA's in Houston. That's not going to be super interesting to people. But these secrets, these are the letting people discover what's in their backyard that they might not have known about. When we all live in the future, and we're very lucky to live when we live. And I think it's something that so many people take for granted about how that got that way. And it feels weird to be patriotic sometimes in these times. But the U.S. has constructed a way of supporting and doing science that I think has completely changed how humanity will unfold into the future. And this is such an awesome opportunity to highlight that. But I do have a question for you guys. I'm curious, beyond us, if there's going to be sort of like real-world, tangible opportunities for like kids in classrooms or people who are watching our videos to kind of explore beyond.
I think all of the above. I think that we'd like to do things in person. We'd like to have some sort of road show, to have some sort of celebrating stuff in real life and building the engagement. And that's another way for people to get involved and to get excited about. And that would be an all ages thing and be an incredible, science tailgate festival fair. And I think I really like tailgating as a cultural reference, because people show up to tailgates for so many reasons, like football, but food, friendship, games, arguing, just because their family's there. There's just so many reasons to show up, and I'd like to build that into this project. And then I think it very naturally, and my sister is a middle school teacher in Portland, Oregon, and we talk a lot, and I have a best friend who's on the board of IMI who's an elementary school teacher, and talking to them too was early on how much influence YouTube has in kids, and how that's where they're looking for relevance, information, what's cool, what's interesting. It absolutely makes sense to build out, like I said, in-person stuff, but pedagogical things, classrooms, kits to help people explore. I think that it will launch during the school year and continue through the summer, and it'd be really lovely if people were watching during the school year and then kids continued to watch, as a daily ritual during summer. I had a lot of those daily rituals. It was weird stuff like The Price is Right and stuff. But but why not something like this?
Yeah, I think this is a virtue of independent media, right? We could do what we want to do. We can grow it in ways, we can prove it back in ways, and it's all gonna come from you guys. So we need to literally start communicating about this now. I think there's lots of huge ideas, and it'll be iterative, and it'll be fun, and it'll be exciting. I love it because you can't do this somewhere else. You're not gonna see this project at Hulu or traditional legacy media. I think that's its defining virtue.
And I think it would be different if these big organizations like that got involved. I love how unapologetically positive it is. You're not apologizing, we're gonna celebrate this thing, what you just said. It feels good to feel good about America, and that's really, I like that a lot. And thanks for taking a swing. It feels like you're kind of going out on a limb a little bit, so it's a little risky. But I wanted to.
It's a 100% American-made product. Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think that we're getting buy-in from everybody from every state, and so that feels like a stable way to do it, and I think it really speaks to what IMI has been on a mission the whole time. Is you couldn't do this at a traditional media company for so many ways, and it's another reason to be positive about YouTube. I wouldn't say we're unapologetically positive about YouTube all the time, but this is a project that you couldn't do without YouTube and the nature of how people make stuff through YouTube. You couldn't do this where everyone from every state could make a video in that state, filmed in that state, uploaded probably in that state or a neighboring state. You just couldn't do that without the technology of YouTube. So I think in addition to being unapologetically positive about America, American science, it's a reason to be excited about independent media and be excited about YouTube. Okay, so we're at time, but last slide. So just to emphasize again, it's a big project, 50 creators, 50 scientists, 50 states, 50 videos, 50 days. And we need engagement. We need you guys to start participating. So Chris is the guy.
Please find me. Let's not leave here without sharing some emails and contacts and get it moving.
Doesn't this sound fun? I think this is so fun. I was telling them I'm just happy to be here. Let's do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cue the bald eagle sound. Okay.